Namaste and welcome to Dragonfly Khukuri and Knives. In a continuation of videos that I'm doing on prototypes that we're introducing this year in 2020 of some of the kukri designs that we're coming up with and wanting to freshen up our website and give you some new offerings. This one particular kukri I'm going to show you right now was a brainchild of Raju Baraili, who is one of my principal kamis who actually works exclusively for Dragonfly Khukuri and Knives product line. And this was something that was of his own design that he surprised me with. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised, I must say. Now, as it being more of a gifted item to me, I kind of pondered as to whether I would be wanting to put this on our website or not, because it has such personal meaning to me. But after going out and using it a bit and really studying it and looking at it, I just fell in love with it. And I think it would be a wonderful design to be able to offer you guys as well. And I'm sure that Raju would be quite honored to be able to have a design that came from his heart and being able to be offered to you as well. Now, there's some very unique features about this particular kukri in that he goes very traditional and then completely does a spin-off where he brings a modern knife and puts it together with it, which is, to some people would think, is a bit unorthodox. Now me, I'm a guy who is cut from a different cloth. I like unorthodox. I like thinking outside the box. I don't like to be stuck in a mold. You must do it exactly this way, that type of thing. You tell me that, I'm going to start thinking outside of those parameters, or I might work within those parameters, but I'll come up with some different ideas and allow that to shape my creativity to where I can still bend and manipulate and change things a bit to where it's not exactly what you would expect. And that's fun. The fun part of being creative and the fun part of being an artist. So when I saw this, there's a lot, Raju is a guy he really is my brother from another mother. I mean, he and we connect so well together in our creative thoughts. And I know that when he did this, he knew that this would be something that I would really like and really enjoy. So this is the kukri that Raju Baraili did. It is absolutely beautiful. What he did is he used a metal. I want to say it's brass, but it could be a more of a tin type of metal that was more easier to imprint and to shape these beautiful designs that are on this shape and on the collar up here. Just absolutely exquisite and beautiful. And then he also did some scoring on here. He actually put my logo design here and the flag of Nepal, and he put a lot of pride and a lot of thought into this. Now, don't be mistaken in thinking that because it has a Nepali flag and my logo on the front here, that it's purely a tourist piece. There is nothing touristy about this. This is a 100% functional kukri that will perform extremely well, and I know this because I've taken it out and I've chopped with it, and it really does a great job. But what's also really nice about this is he took a very traditional style kukri blade and handle, and then along with that made this very exquisite and beautiful scabbard, as you see. And then he threw in something that just is completely unorthodox about doing a traditional historical kukri, and that is he introduced a Western style knife. And I think this really kind of just captures kind of my relationship with Raju. Here we have East meeting West. He works on a lot of my own personal designs that I give him, and we also do a lot of historical kukris. And so here is a very beautiful historical kukri married to a Western style knife. Now this was not one of my designs of the Western style knife. This was a pattern that he came up with, whether it be something that he saw and was inspired by and then did his own version of it. But regardless, it is a very useful, very good knife, and I'll show it to you in a moment. Now, for this particular kukri, it's just phenomenal. I really, really love and greatly appreciate his workmanship and his putting together something just that describes him and me together in a very good and positive way, in a creative way. Now, this particular kukri shape is actually a blade shape that comes back from Antiquity, roughly around the time of the Victorian era. Now, those of you who know about IMA and you know about Atlantic Cutlery and how they were able to acquire a large cache of Victorian era weaponry, whether it be rifles, bayonets, kukri, even a few cannons. And in that they had these longer blades that they ended up coining a description, and that was long leaf kukri, or long leaf bladed kukri. I have 3 examples of this. Not all of them came from Atlantic Cutlery. They came with the original, at least original era scabbards, and I'm tending to believe that they are actually the actual scabbards that came with the kukri, because each kukri has its own unique shape, and in order for them to fit into this scabbard so nicely and fit well, it would actually have had to have been made for the particular kukri. So I do believe these are the original scabbards that came with these particular kukris. But I'm going to hold up a couple of them, and if you notice, this one, very prominent shape, beautiful curve, very long blade, probably about 14-15 inches long, has a very prominent and deep belly. Beautiful carda. It's a half tang and beautiful rosewood handle, but a bit on the small sides. One that would well fit a Gurkha's hand and locks it in really, really well. Now my hand size is small, so these kukris fit my hand perfectly. They're very thick and very heavy for the size of the blade. Now this one has, hopefully I'm going to pronounce this right, Darangari script that's written on the spine of this blade, and all 3 examples I'm going to be showing you of these antique pieces have that. And this particular one comes with some traditional carda and chakmak. This is a rather larger carda. I don't know if it's actually the original carda that came with it, but it's large enough to be 100% functional and very nice. Probably isn't what came with it. And then a traditional chakmak, and this one has the texturing on it that allows it to be almost like a file, to where you can really get the rolled edges and chips out in the field. Patuka buttons, no frog, which would be quite normal for that time period. Unless they were attached to a British unit, then they would start putting a frog on it. And that might have even been the case. They probably did have frogs with them at one time. Here's another one. Again, it's not with original scabbard. The reason why I can say that is because it fits very well with this particular unique blade shape. Again, comes with a very useful carda. This one has a nice long handle and beveled edge here. Very useful, very good. Whether it's the original, I'm not sure. I can't really say for certain. Tender pouch, as they would have had, and also a very useful chakmak, again with the texturing on it, and traditional design, very large handle, very useful. But let's get to the blade. Again, the blade, you have a very long blade, about 14 inches, maybe 15, nice prominent belly, and then you have the Dashangiri script on the back. And again, stick tang. This one has probably a little bit larger handle than the other one that I showed you, but yet still the same very, very thick spine. Yet there is still a slight hollow forge in here. You can see a very prominent spine on this, and then it kind of dips in and comes to the blade. Now it's not enough to really lighten the blade, but it is a characteristic of this blade. Another antique, same style. This one's a little bit shorter in its blade length. This one is about 14 inches. It's not 15. A very small Devonshire script here, and forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. But again, a very prominent curve to it, very nice large belly to it, very thick spine. Again, stick tang, goes about halfway in. This one again has a little bit larger handle than the first one I showed you, but still small, fits my hand perfectly. This particular one has just a great balance to it. Beautiful, beautiful kukri. Coined as the long leaf kukri of Antiquity. And it comes with a tender pouch, and again, your chakmak traditional style, large handle, and then the traditional chakmak. And this one I would very definitely say probably wasn't of this era or went with this one, but yet still a very good size, very functional karda. And that's one thing I really want to emphasize, is that when these guys were building these kukris back in that time, everything had a form and function to it. There was a purpose. There was a reason why they had that karda. That karda wasn't a decoration. It was a useful tool that they needed and used and depended upon out in the field. This was what they skin animals with. This is what they would prepare their meals with, or do their feather sticks, or some of their finer details when they're at camp, along with their larger blade, which was a heavy piece that did all their chopping and setting up their camps and taking out into combat. So these are some excellent examples of these blades, and the reason why I'm showing you these is to set up what Raju did with this one. This particular blade style is very, very much like that period. You have a very large, long blade. He did put a hollow forge in it, which makes it much lighter and very useful. So you look at this giant blade and you think, man, it's going to be heavy. It isn't, because of this nice hollow forge he put in it. He also put Devonshire script on the back, along with his name and the date of Nepali year, which 2020 is actually, or 2019, I'm not sure which, it's 2076 that he put on here. So putting it in the Nepali calendar. But he has the Om symbol on here, and some Hindu symbols as well, which I really, really like. And then he also put my logo on it. But beautiful cowdy here. Excuse me. It has the lotus leaf cowdy on it. Excuse me, dry throat here. Very, very beautiful. And what I also like is he goes about a 1/4 inch thick, and then distal tapers to the point, to where that bevel is. And this is just, when I have gone out and chopped with this thing just goes through material and slices through it like nobody's business. It is really great and really a pleasure to use. And for being such a large kukri, it is amazingly light. Absolutely amazingly light. I want to say it was probably about 570 grams, 570 grams when I weighed it. I will be, when I put this on the website, it will have all the detailed information And of course, you can always message me at Blue Dragonfly Training Post, and I will, if I haven't put the review for this kukri on it yet, I will provide that information for you if you ask. Horn handle, beautiful, brass ring here, and along with this beautiful and very functional butt plate and keeper with the bolster, and just beautifully accented, beautiful kukri. And I am really, really very, very pleased with this beautiful kukri. He did such an outstanding and fantastic job. So this one will be definitely on our website. Now, with the scabbard, like I said, he did this really detailed work up here that's just fantastic. Now, let me see if I can get the frog to slide off. So you could take the frog off and put this, wear it in a patuka, and it would really be a great piece for, if you could wear it at a wedding, it would be awesome. But, just as for a period correct kukri that a nobleman would be proud to wear, this would definitely fit that and be period correct 100% all the way through. Now, with this beautiful, very well made frog, the only thing that I'm going to change on this when we roll it out is that this knife being sheathed on the back side of the frog makes it very difficult to access this knife when it's sitting on your belt. Because if you can imagine, here's your pants, and the belt goes through here, there's no way that you're going to access this knife. So you would literally have to take this off your belt, the whole system off your belt, to access the utility of this knife. So what I'm going to propose that we do is we're going to be taking this and putting it on the front side. But I want to do it in such a way that maybe it'll be more of a dangler where it won't cover this beautiful piece here. So I'm going to come up with a design to suggest to Raju where we can put this on the front and maybe tilt it, or maybe horizontal carry it where it's going this way on the belt or at an angle on the belt, to where it doesn't detract from the beauty of this collar and the shape. Now, let's talk about this knife that he designed and did. This is a beautiful, very functional knife. It's full tang, buffalo horn handles. He used copper and brass pins, 3 pins. He has some finger choils here to help grip this blade, but I don't find it uncomfortable. I really don't like the finger grooves that much, but they're apart and smooth enough to where they really help you lock in to that grip, and it's comfortable to hold. It doesn't create any hot spots whatsoever. It has a very good balance. That balance is right about where it should be. If my hand doesn't shake, there we go. You can see it's right in where the bolster is, right where it needs to be. So it allows you to really get in there and by choking up, putting your finger up on the spine there, you could skin with this all day long and feel comfortable and have really good control over this blade. Wonderful grind. He even put like a little a chira up here at the point to help balance this blade. Now, it is a little bit on the handle heavy side in that you have a full tang that goes all the way through, slightly a distal taper, so it does diminish the weight, but I think it's mostly this bolster. When you hold it in your hand, that bolster puts that balance and that weight right there. So it doesn't feel like it's too handle heavy, and it doesn't feel like it's too blade heavy. It has a really good balance. So I'm very, very pleased on his production of this blade. I'm not going to change anything about this knife. It is a really, really great knife. He did an excellent, excellent job. It cuts very well, indexes very well, and is very, very functional. We'll probably increase the pouch style of this scabbard to where it holds maybe a little bit more of the bolster, so it locks it in a little better, and we'll put it in the front. And like I said, orientation might be a little bit different. Other than that, I'm not changing a thing. This is Raju's beauty and creation, and he really he deserves a lot of accolades for what he did here, because this is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful kukri. Very well pleased with it. And I'm not even sure what I'm going to call it yet. Maybe Raju's Nobleman Kukri. We're going to play with the name and come up with it. Maybe some of you might have a suggestion as what we should name this kukri. But look for it on our website. I will give you updates as to when we get ready for production on this. This is just to whet your appetite. Raju, if you're watching this, thank you, my brother. I really love this kukri. You did a masterful job. Excellent, excellent job. It is gorgeous. And I love your knife. This knife is 100% functional, good weight, good balance, good EDC knife, and functions very, very well. I've taken it out and I've used it and I've enjoyed it. And we might even do something where we figure out a system. I did design a system where a sheath knife like this can be removed from the frog and be carried independently from the partner or parent kukri. And so we'll probably do something like that where it can be taken out and worn as an EDC as well, independent when you're around the camp. Because this is such a useful knife. I mean, you really could, it's enjoyable to hold and use, and very, very functional. So, another kukri to watch on our website. Hopefully you found this interesting and that you liked what you saw. Please like and subscribe on my YouTube page. Leave any comments or questions that you have there. Visit me on my Facebook page at Blue Dragonfly Training Post, and you can leave questions and comments there as well. I strongly encourage that. I really like that. And then by all means, visit our website at dragonflycookeryknives.com, looking for this blade designed by Raju Baraili. This is his masterpiece. Extremely good, beautiful kukri, and I can't wait to be able to show you the final version of it when it's ready to be sold. Pray for Nepal and pray for all of us. Keep us in your thoughts, in your heart, because these are trying times. Not only is this a difficult time period in our history of humanity, definitely something that's going to be written about in the history books, and people are going to read about 100 years from now and think of it almost like the Black Plague. It may not be as bad as the Black Plague, but it is something that's going to have a long and lasting effect, and it won't be a good one for a lot of people all over the world. Many people are losing their loved ones. Lots of family members are very sick, and this is a sobering time, to be in thought and prayer for them. Remember that the kami have put their fires out. They're not working. They're not making kukris right now. And they don't have the income to where they can just sit there and wait this out. They still have to eat. They still have to pay their rent and their mortgage, or buy their clothing for their kids, for themselves. And where do they get that money? If their forges are cold, they can't earn it. So right now, this is a very difficult and hard and trying time for them, economically, as well as the apprehension that we all have about the possibility of getting sick and our lives being threatened by the COVID-19. As for me, I'm still recovering from my surgery. I'm at home. I'm enjoying the time with my family. Things are well, and I'm very, very blessed. But there isn't a day that I don't think about my brothers, Neem Tanji, Barun Baraili, Raju Baraili, and their families, and the kamis who work with them, and the hardship that they're experiencing over there in Nepal. So keep us all in your thoughts and prayers. We greatly appreciate it, and thank you very much for watching. Namaste. God bless. Stay home, stay safe, and stay well. And stay tuned for the next video of some more demo kukris that we're going to be bringing this year in 2020. God bless. Thank you.